Hello viewers, welcome back to another So Thirsty episode. Today we're going to try a Shanxi noodle dish called Biang Biang Mian. And this noodle is one of the 8 strange wonders of Shanxi. I mean, is it 8 or 10? Anyway, this noodle is one of the 8 or 10 strange wonders of the Shanxi province. And this noodle, Biang Biang Mian, it translates to smack smack noodle. So let's go try some smacking good noodle, shall we? This noodle dish is listed in the 8 strange wonders of Shanxi because it resembles a belt. Yes, you heard that right, belt, as in the one that your dad used to whip you with. Typically in the past, this dish is eaten with a lot of spices during the cold winter months, and it was originally a poor man's dish. But it has become famous due to its interesting name, Biang Biang noodles. The Chinese language has many characters that represent the sound of things, and Biang happens to be one of them. So when someone is kneading the dough to make the noodles, and they smack it against the counterboard, it creates the sound biang biang biang. So that's where the sound comes from. And the smacking technique is said to make the noodles more elastic and bouncy. Therefore, many claim that the skill and technique used to smack the dough will determine the quality of the noodles at the end, just like how you should smack the like and subscribe button to this channel. Anyway, biang isn't really a Chinese character because you can't find it in the dictionary. And I'm guessing probably because it has 58 strokes and people in the past were like, you know what, forget about it. And because it's impossible to write the word biang, people refer to this dish as you po mian or ping ping mian or something similar. So we ordered this sour spicy noodle soup dish with some non-existent meat. But the main star of today's show is this. Look at that beauty. Topped with tomato, egg, cured meat, loose vegetables, chili powder, and the most amazing, fragrant oil. Anyway, enough talk. Let's start mixing. Look at how each noodles are beautifully coated with the sauce and the oil. If you search it up online, you'll find that it says Biang Biang noodles look like this, and it resembles a belt, long, thick. But according to fellow YouTuber, who is a local from Shanxi province, he says that that's called belt noodles, an entirely different noodles. And the original Biang Biang noodles is said to be only the size of this, maybe bite-sized. And we have something similar back home in Singapore. It's called Mi Hun Kueh, and it is fantastic. If you visit Singapore, you have to give it a shot. Try the meat. A bit dry, but not too bad. Let's have a taste of this noodles. Oh, it's so silky, so gooey. The noodles is so slippery because of the oil, and because it's very thick, it catches all the sauce. You can taste the chili, you can taste the oil, and the ketchup, the egg, the tomatoes. It's fantastic. The noodle is very slippery, very silky, but has a very nice bite to it, like kind of like al dente when you eat a pasta. I'm guessing because of the thickness of it, and because it's handmade, so maybe smacking it really gives it the extra bounciness and elasticity. My only comment is that there is not enough meat in this dish, but the star of the show is the noodles, so I can't be too fussy about it. Also, you'll notice that the bowl is very large, and this is because the bowl, the large bowl, is part of the 8 or 10 weird stuff about Shanxi. We got sharing bowls so that I can share with you. And I think we made a mistake. There's too much noodles. Another interesting fact, locals here like to eat the noodles with raw garlic. I love garlic, but that's a bit too spicy for me, so maybe you give it a go and let me know what you think. The Before filming this episode, I did some research online and I found an interesting origin story regarding this noodle dish. And let me see if I can remember this correctly. In ancient China, there was this broke-ass scholar. One day, he decided to have lunch in a noodle restaurant despite not having any money. But of course, he had a plan in mind. Bear in mind that this restaurant did not have a signboard, nor did it have a name. After the scholar had his fill and it was time to pay up, he proposed to bestow a signboard or name for the owner so that he could display it in front of his shop. Apparently it was a thing that scholars could do. So the scholar asked the owner what's the name of his signature dish, hoping to create a unique signboard out of it. Unfortunately, the owner didn't have a name for it, but he claimed that his regular customers always call it piang piang noodles because of the sound produced when the owner is making the noodles. So the scholar fashioned the owner a calligraphy-ish word, piang, and the owner accepted it as payment for the lunch. So ladies and gentlemen, if you want to have a free lunch in Beijing, pick up some calligraphy. Who knows, you might be lucky. But since we aren't scholars, I thought I'd enlighten you guys with the price. That was an extremely delicious meal. If you ever get to visit the Shanxi province, don't forget to try this dish. I'm only trying it here in Beijing, well, because of COVID. But for now, many thanks for joining us. And don't forget to subscribe and stay so thirsty.